Hello, beach friends. My name is Charmin, and I'm a huge fan of learning new things, and I would like to share a quote that I think pretty much sums up today's video. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Now, I wouldn't say my goal is to change the world, but I do have a natural curiosity about the world around me, so I love doing research and then showing you all the new things I've learned. Today, I learned how to save an urchin from certain death, but it wasn't from anything I learned from a book. So I invite you to spend the next 30 minutes or so of me showing you what all I found on the beach this morning, identifying it and likely giving you some sort of information about the animal, and telling you about the really cool lesson I learned today. So if you're ready to see what all is out there for us today, let's go to the beach. Okay, we are here at Fort Myers Beach, one of my favorite beaches, and the tide is going out. So I am going to make my way down to the good shelling area. When the shelling is really good, I would just start shelling right now, but it's been a little slow, kind of waiting for winter to bring some stuff in. Okay, this is kind of cool. This is a chitin. All right, let's zoom in. This is kind of cool. This is a chitin. It's got 8 little plates on it. Now, the problem here is that it's attached to garbage, and I want to remove the garbage from the beach. Now, what do? I don't want to leave the garbage here. So the chitin does typically live on rocks and things of that nature, and it eats algae off them. So I'm going to slide very gently. I'm going to slide this little critter onto this quahog. There you go, friend. And so it can kind of go about its business eating algae, and I can take this garbage from the beach. So I haven't seen a chitin in a really long time. That was kind of cool. This is a gorgeous, fat, chunky lettered olive. There's a couple different olives we can get here in Southwest Florida. The lettered olive is the one I typically find. It's beautiful, and you can feel how shiny it is. So fun. So since the tide is going out, it is exposing some sandbars, and I love exploring the sandbars, but when I see them, I'm like, ugh, because they're stopping the shells from getting all the way to the beach. So we will go out and explore a sandbar in a little bit, and I will take any garbage that I can handle off the beach with me. Now, low tide means critters, and it's going to expose more things, and I'm assuming there is a critter here. Now, I do think that this kind of looks like a lettered olive, so I'm hoping, or that's what I'm thinking when I get to the bottom here. I'm going to scoop up this critter, I'm going to rinse off, and a sunray Venus clam. Whoa, not expected. I didn't know that they can kind of like crawl like that. Well, that's kind of weird. And I was going to leave it. No, I don't want to leave it up on the beach. I want to leave you down in the water. So yeah, a live sunray Venus clam, kind of cool. Just tuck you in. There you go, friend. So already the beach gave me a little surprise. I was expecting one thing, I got something else. There's always something to discover. So this is a fighting conch. Yep. So that critter is coming out from the sand. What about this? Is also trying to figure it out. Yeah, fighting conch. Oh yeah. We do see a little eyeball. See right there? That's its little eyeball. Actually, 2 eyeballs. So that 2 little eyeballs was peeking out. I'm going to leave it alone. We don't need to harass every critter. Frankly, I'll never make it down the beach to get to the good spot for low tide. So, oh, here's another critter. So the shell is a banded tulip shell, and there's a little hermit crab in there. Now, hermit crabs will change their shells. When they get a little bigger, they will look for a little bit bigger of a shell. Snails do not. Snails stay in their shell their entire life. All right, I was hoping that this little long-wristed hermit crab would come out and say hi, but seems pretty comfy in its little shell. So it's fine. We will leave you here. Let's see what else we're going to discover at low tide. So there's just a couple people to the south. Or actually, that's the north. This is the south. Nobody. So currently, don't really have a whole lot of competition right now. Hello, 5-hole keyhole sand dollar. Oh, you're beautiful. I will never tire of finding these because it doesn't happen all the time. A couple weeks ago, about 2.5 weeks ago, there was a bumper crop of sand dollars. So really happy to see this gorgeous 5-hole keyhole sand dollar. Now here's another. Now this was also the area where I had found all the other sand dollars. So I'm wondering if perhaps they're still here. What? So I went and I checked the calendar and it was a little over 2.5 weeks ago. And there's still some sand dollars here. That's kind of mind blowing. So the ones that we have here in Southwest Florida, they do have little keyholes in them and they're called 5-hole keyhole sand dollars. Love that pier. The birds like to hang out there. So I always, it's kind of just have to say hi to the pier as I make my way down to my favorite part of the beach. Another sand dollar. So yeah, wow. Okay, yep. I can't believe they're still here. That was 2.5 weeks ago. So try to wrap your head around how many sand dollars that must have been. Now this gorgeous fighting conch, it's got that orange color. It's got a nice rhomboid notch. So yeah, in between a couple of sand dollars, there was a fighting conch that caught my attention. So it's a little chunky here. And then I will shell as quickly or slowly as the shells make me wait. So if there's good stuff, I'm going to creep. If there's nothing really piquing my interest, I'm going to walk a little bit quicker. So for now, the only thing kind of slowing me down are sand dollars. All right, a little bit of garbage. I will take that. And that goes in my shell bag with the rest of everything. Oh, hello, sand dollar. Oh, it's so pretty. Yeah, not yet. I haven't lived here quite long enough to pass these up. Not yet, anyway. Maybe one of these days. Oh, it's gorgeous. And it's got pencil radial symmetry. It's got 5, see that like petals, like the 5 different petals on the front of it. And here's the other thing. Just because they're dark doesn't mean that they are alive. I've had a few discussions with some people about that, but I assure you we are looking for spines. So these are all deceased sand dollars. Living ones, I will show you in a little while. Living ones look completely different. Now, I do always carry a delicates container in my shell bag. So garbage goes in my shell bag. I have my delicates container in my shell bag. And then in my backpack, I've got all sorts of extra bags and stuff. So I try to come prepared. It doesn't always work out that way, but I do try to have enough containers to bring all my goodies back off the beach with me. On the left there, gorgeous calico scallop, and then we have a rose petal tellin on the right. So 2 lovely pink purple shells. Now this spot was very covered with sand the last time I was here, and now, all right, the rocks are exposed again, so that it's just a tricky spot right there. And there's still sand dollars. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen this. Check this out. So in the very center, there's a star. Look right there. So that kind of plays into that whole pencil radial symmetry. Isn't that pretty? So yeah, it's got those 5 petals that they're called on the front. If you look on the back, there's also 5 petals. And they are flat urchins. So urchins also have that pencil radial symmetry. So there's my delicates container. All right. It's days like this, I wish I had a container with a different lid. Oh, more sand dollars. Because the top kind of, it's hard, not that it's hard to get on and off, but I kind of wish something just kind of popped open. So anyway, for now, a couple of more sand dollars are going to get rinsed off and into my delicates container. All right, this mystery chunk. So that is a piece of seashell. I'm not going to blurt it out. It is a horse conch because the aperture is on the right. The opening is on the right, not the left. And there's only 2 seashells down here that get that big. Now, meet Sally. We're just going to call her Sally. Sally and I had a quick discussion, and Sally had a live urchin. And Sally broke my heart because she didn't listen to me, and she took the urchin. And it was bothering me, and I wanted to know, what would you guys do? What would you do? It's driving me up a wall, and nope, not even the sand dollar is going to make me feel better. So I thought about it a minute, and then I approached Sally again. Hi, it's me again. If I can convince you that urchin is alive, will you leave it here?
Oh, you can have it.
No. If I can convince
Take
you it's
it.
alive, I want to show you.
It doesn't move. I've been carrying it for half an hour. It doesn't move.
It's
Not
alive.
one single.
Smell it. It's the beach. It's not dead. You know what I mean? It's alive.
You can have it.
No, I don't want it. I'm going to leave it here.
Fine.
Thank you. Now, I actually thought I was speaking a little bit kinder to Sally than I was. I couldn't leave the urchin with her, so that's what I decided to do. I figured people are not mean. People just don't know. So my goal was to try to educate Sally, and perhaps next time she'll just think differently, or maybe she won't take it, or maybe she can even tell someone else that even though it might look dead, it's not actually dead. Now, in retrospect, I wish I had filmed it and been able to kind of prove that it was viable. But one of my other friends, we had a discussion. Look, if it doesn't smell dead, it's not. So that is another method that you can double check to see if there's something that should stay at the beach. Now, this beautiful living creature obviously is moving, and I know it's dark in color, but some of the ones that are expired are also dark. So you got to look for the surface, if it's got little hairs on it. And always, if there's ever a question, leave it at the beach. So yeah, in my opinion, even if it's questionable, just leave it, because you don't know. These critters, they're used to being out of the water, so sometimes they may act like they're not all that living. Give it a sniff. If it doesn't smell dead, leave it at the beach. Isn't that pretty? So that is a living sand dollar, all furry and beautiful. And it's going to stay here. Well, I only collect dead things and things, shells that are empty, like this lightning whelk. So this is one of the 2 whelks that you might find down here. Gets its name for those little zigzags on it. A lightning whelk. Now, this is a beach bowl, and I know it might not look like much. They can get rather impressive, but the interior color. So this is a giant Atlantic cockle. It does have its hinge. It does get a lot bigger than that. Actually, about that big. And again, I'm looking at the interior. Not that impressive. It's fine. It'd make a great tool, make a great bowl. But I'm looking at, oh, that's pretty, but the black. So I'm just kind of checking out the different colors. Another fun thing, I like to identify it and then just kind of see, oh, the interior. So yeah, that is another Atlantic giant cockle with a beautiful interior color. Okay, here we have a tinted cantharus. Now, this was not one of my favorite shells. I don't know, it just kind of grew on me. Kind of like algae, the tinted cantharus. This is a Florida fighting conch, well, all right, a fighting conch, and it just looks all goofy. Oh, a little bit of purple on it. Like it's kind of thin. All right, for those that you don't know, it is my favorite seashell, and I could talk about them for hours. They just have so many fun little attributes to them. And this little seashell, that is a banded tulip. I had to kind of check that for a second, because the true tulips and the banded tulips, making sure there's no critters inside, can look rather similar. Oh, I must have walked right past this because I was paying attention to the water. All right, let's see. Anything good here? All right, I do see a little limpet. So here's a little itty bitty, probably a cayenne keyhole limpet. No color on it. That's okay. It's kind of fun to spy the little itty bitty shells. Look for some Wentel traps. This is kind of like Wentel trap conditions, but something else caught my eye. The tiniest hermit crab I've ever seen. And it is minuscule. Oh, I want to check it out a little bit closer. So, although I want to be really careful, I mean, this thing is microscopic, but I do manage to pick it up. Oh, and it's funny because it's doing the same behavior that the larger ones do, kind of like preening. And no way could I see that on the beach. I have to get it home and kind of blow this up. Oh, that's so adorable. So that's how tiny it is. Little itty bitty crab. So you have just won the award for the smallest hermit crab I've ever seen. Oh, that was cute. Look at how massive that fly-speck cerith is. All right, little hermit crab. That was really fun, you cute, adorable little thing. Of course, it makes me a little bit terrified of collecting the small shells, and it just, oh, you just really want to be careful. Make sure the shells are empty, and you only collect empty shells. What a morning! All right, here we have an angel wing. Oh, that's just perfect. Does it have its little scoop on the inside? Nope. So there's like a little scoop piece of the shell that may or may not be intact. Not terribly important. Gorgeous seashell, though. That is an angel wing, a true angel wing. Okay, we have a little, I almost said horse conch because they come in that color, but this is a true tulip. And I know that from the color, frankly, and those lines. The bands on the true tulips are much closer together than the banded tulips. A little horse conch, and I hope is empty. Yep. So our little state shell, little Florida horse conch. Gorgeous little thing. And true tulip. Again, the color for me. The banded tulips just don't come in those colors. Oh, there's another one of those tinted cantharus shells. Now, the green doesn't bother me at all. Green bleach will always take care of that. So I will collect shells that look super green. The broken ones, those I don't always collect. Look at that. That's a common nutmeg. Oh, it's so pretty. Fort Myers Beach will be like that. Sometimes I can find like a dozen of these. Sometimes it's going to be one or two. This is a banded tulip. Just lovely. Yep. No critters. There'll be a little bit much bigger of a critter in there. It's another banded tulip. And a lettered olive. And yeah, just checking. I can feel the shine. I just say it either feels like a piece of glass or it feels like pottery. So the pottery ones I kind of leave at the beach, but those real shiny ones I will take. Weird, right? What? So that is called sea pork or sea liver. It's piece of a tunicate. So it's this big glob that broke off and it would filter feed. So this weird kind of globby thing is out in the ocean somewhere, filter feeding. And then a piece will break off and kind of wash up onto the beach. I think it's time to go check out that sandbar. Now, it does look kind of flat. I do see some seaweed, and I really don't expect there to be shell piles or anything. However, it really is pretty, and the allure of just kind of exploring this area is quite strong. However, I am going to be quiet for a few moments and allow you to enjoy some beach time. All right, I think I'll turn my attention down, see what all is here. Here is a calico clam. Almost said calico scallop, but that is a clam. One of the fancy clams, the calico clam. Oh, guess what? Oh, that's a shark eye, but it's alive. Oh. All right, so that big globby thing. So that's a moon snail. These fascinate me. Now the animal it inflates itself with seawater and it gets really, really big. And it's covering its own shell right now. So the shell is really pretty much covered at this point. And okay, so there's the front of the animal and there I can kind of see like a siphon sticking up. All right, let's kind of adjust you, my friend. I don't want you like crawling off my hand. Let's see if I can nope, you're right. All right, there is the critter. Oh, look at it undulate. So these, the crown conchs, just like a big old snail. Oh, it's beautiful. So this animal will inflate itself with seawater and get real, real big. And it can also expel that water and fit into the shell. Now you'll also see the animals kind of covering its shell. Oh man, I never get to see this is only the second time I've gotten to see one of these guys alive. Now, they're very carnivorous. They feed primarily on bivalves like clams, but I know that they also eat other shark eyes because they drill holes into their prey's shells and then they use this like radula, and they have acidic secretions that they'll kind of use to also weaken the shell, and they can kind of drill through other shells. Now, they spend a lot of time burrowing under the sand so they can kind of keep buried, likely from each other, because they do eat, in addition to the clams and things like that, they do eat other shark eyes. I wish it was like very clear cut. Here's the cute eyes, here's a cute face. But a lot of the times, especially if it's not in the water, you just kind of see goo. And the egg casings, we should be able to see those soon. It's the shark eyes make kind of like an egg collar. Thanks for saying hi, friend. Oh, that was so cool. Oh, so yeah, the living critters are going to be out in the water. That makes sense. I guess at this point, I'm going to make my way back over to the other water's edge. Let's see what else is back this way. Okay, so we have a little buffet here. So we do have some Nassas that found something to munch on. So they're eating something that's not alive anymore. The Nassas will eat algae, invertebrate eggs. So they'll eat eggs with the egg casings, carrion, and other stuff that they can kind of outrun. So they are little vultures of the sea, kind of cleaning things up. Nothing goes to waste. So even if there's been a mishap, nothing will be left behind. Now, this is an American oyster catcher. For me, really easy to identify because of that big orange bill that it has. And these fellas or gals primarily feed on bivalves like oysters and clams and mussels. And it knows at low tide, these other creatures are going to be out and much easier to kind of get a hold of. So that oyster catcher is running around looking for its next snack or meal. So low tide brings the birds out too. Oh, a spiny jewel box. This one's really nice because it's actually spiky. Sometimes they can just kind of be lumpy, but I like, oh yeah, good aggressive spiny jewel box. Crown conch. Let's see what kind of condition you're pretty big. Oh, you're not. Ooh. Oh, that's lovely. The crown conchs tend to kind of be dry and pitted sometimes. I don't know, at least lately. Oh, that's beautiful. Now, and it's actually not a conch. I know we call it a crown conch, but it is not an actual conch, not a true conch. Alphabet cone. Yeah, today's been so fun. I see an E and an A maybe. Some V's on there. So lovely little alphabet cone. That is terrific. That's one of the things I love about Fort Myers Beach. The sheer variety of things that you can find here. So here, a beautifully colored pear whelk. That is gorgeous. It's kind of unfortunate. I tend to think that the ones that are really great in color have expired recently, so that's kind of a bummer, but beautiful seashell. Beautiful. There's not too many people out. I will say, me personally, this time of year, I layer because when I get to the beach, it's a little chilly, and then the sun comes up, and then I'm hot. So just dress in layers, and no matter what, you'll be prepared. Lightning whelk. It's pretty big. Are you alive? No! Awesome! And again, like I said about the green, I'm not worried about the green. The green I can handle. Well, actually, bleach can handle it. No problem. Oh, that's gorgeous. Really beautiful lightning whelk with little spikes on the top. Oh, so pretty. Oh, a turkey wing. Or a zigzag arc. All right, it's a little broken, the arc part. It's very white. It's very straight hinge, rather. So that's a zigzag arc. Works for me. Pretty enough. I like those, so I'm going to hold on to that. Lovely turkey wing. Rose petal tellin. So yeah, in the background, I am probably picking up several of these. Can't resist those either. Now, those also come in white, which just kind of trips me up a lot. Actually, just in the beginning when I was trying to figure out and identify these seashells, that was a really fun process. That is gorgeous. It was literally screaming at me. Oh my goodness, that's beautiful. So that is another fighting conch, technically a West Indian fighting conch, but either way, that just yellow to kind of orange. Oh, that was a gorgeous seashell. Here's another angel wing. Little green, no problem. Again, the bleach will take care of that. There's the scoop. So that one has a little bit of a scoop I was talking about earlier. Beautiful. All right, at this point, I'm kind of like, do I really want to keep going any further? Oh, hello, snowy egret. So breeding season's coming. The birds are going to start looking real pretty, get their breeding colors on. And I decided, nope, that's it. I've had so much fun. Let's go back through the same area. Oh, I missed a horse conch. Lovely. Oh, it's a little broken. Not a deal breaker for me. It's okay. It's on that other side because when you hold it like that, looks great. Florida prickly cockle. Love the interior color. So that's another shell. That and the buttercup lucines. There's just some shells that just absolutely delight me with what that interior color looks like. Another crown conch. All right, you're not quite as impressive as that first one I picked up. Still kind of nice. I think they're kind of hard to find in really, really, really good condition. I'll go hunting for those soon. Would you look? Oh, that is majestic. A spectacular spiny jewel box. Oh, that is awesome. Oh, that is so, yep. I love the spiky, the weird shell, spiky, anything really kind of different. What a day. I can't believe the sand dollars were still here. And those two women both had handfuls of sand dollars. And I did kind of give them the side eye just to make sure they were all dead and they were quote unquote safe. They look like they know what they were doing. Because I do worry about people unfortunately collecting things that are alive. I won't mention any names, Sally. So this rose petal talon, I can just about guarantee if you go to Fort Myers Beach, you will find them. I'm thinking every single time I've ever come here, I do find the rose petal talons. And then just for my own knowledge, okay, 0.25 starts to get a little dicey with this building again. So if you're going to come and you're going to shell in this area, go at low tide and just watch out for this little wall here. Oh, there's a buttercup lucine. There's just a few more seashells I want to show you. That buttercup lucine with that beautiful interior. The interior of this giant Atlantic cockle, almost ombre. I thought that was really, really beautiful. We also have this calico scallop with that kind of like sunburst pattern on it. That was really beautiful. And then we also have this piece of a Junonia. So even the littlest piece of Junonia is quite fun to find. And I'm going to keep that little shard of shell as well. What a day. So I'm going to lean into that whole education thing, and I'm going to just assume that people are not mean. They're not trying to do anything wrong. They're just uninformed. And so I'm just going to kind of try to keep educating people and letting them know the difference between things that should stay at the beach and things that are perfectly safe to collect. Because there are people that do think that dark sand dollars are all alive, and we know that that's not necessarily the case. But I'm going to try. I'm just going to try to keep educating people. So in addition to some sand dollars and some shells, I did take some garbage off the beach. Now, because it goes in my shell bag, I kind of missed this. So I'm going to add this 0.65 to this 11.9. So today was 12.55 ounces of garbage, and that means in total, I've removed a little over 62 pounds of garbage from our beaches. That's the sand dollars from today. I can't believe 2.5 weeks later, they're still there. Oh, it's so fun. And then there was a couple of gorgeous seashells. So yeah, I went a little crazy with the fighting conchs. I always kind of do. The banded tulips. There's some yellow prickly cockles, some lettered olives. There's one auger, some horse conchs, tinted cantharus, spiny jewel box. There's one little top shell there. Some broad-ribbed carditas. There is one lace murex, two apple murex, some of the crown conchs, a paper fig, some Atlantic giant cockles, some bubbles, some sunray Venus clams. Oh yeah, I was picking up those rose petal talons. There's a worm snail, a turkey wing, some of the calico scallops, the Florida prickly cockle, the buttercup lucine, the nutmeg. There's some lightning whelks, calico clams, angel wings. What else have we not mentioned? We'll slide into my favorites. So it's going to be the horse conch, that pear whelk, the alphabet cone, some true tulips, that little limpet, some drills, and then of course meeting that moon snail was really cool. All the other critters, that urchin was really fun. So all in all, it was a great day. I now know what to do. If I run into somebody who I think is going to take something living from the beach, I'm going to try to educate them. And just don't forget about the smelling thing because, things die, they smell bad. Patreons, thank you from the bottom of my heart for monetarily supporting me and allowing to run this channel and do the things that I do. And everybody else who watches and comments, thank you. Thank you for giving me about 30 minutes of your time every week. Next week, we're headed to Kais. So we're going to have a good time. Until then, I hope you have yourself a wonderful week, and I'll see you again next Sunday.